There's always that. 916-339-1140. Okay, Keegan Murray, you know who can afford this Kimpton Sawyer giveaway? He can afford a lot of nights at the Kimpton Sawyer. Keegan Murray, I'm not pocket watching, but $140 million 5-year extension. Gets $18 million more than Jabari Smith Jr., who, yes, their numbers have been very, very similar, but I have maintained their importance to their respective teams. Not as similar as the numbers suggest. He's signed through 2030, 2031. No player option. Most he's projected to make in any 1 year is $31.8 million, or 16% of the salary cap. Keegan is only the third Kings draft pick since 2008 to sign a second contract with the team. DeMarcus Cousins, De'Aaron Fox. That's insane. That's actually insane.
It seems crazy to just say it out loud, but yes, Keegan is the third player the Kings have drafted in 15 years that has signed a second deal.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, obviously, the easy comp, since 2008, the easy comp is the Warriors, and off the top of my head, that whole core.
Steph was 2009.
Right, so that whole core, all three of them, because Steph was the first.
Yeah, Clay was taken after the Kings took.
But let's say outside of those Hall of Famers. So those three, Jordan Poole, because he got punched.
Yeah, Jordan Poole, who they immediately traded.
It's kind of dry, though. Those three Hall of Famers, right? So just for this exercise, we can remove them, okay?
Yeah, but Looney. Yeah.
Those, Poole, because he got punched, and Kuminga, which was...
It took a while to get there.
Next to it. So those are the three off the top of my head.
Moses Moody got one.
Oh, yeah. Moody, here you go. Please stay.
But again, you have to remove 3 Hall of Famers.
Okay, that's fair.
In order to do this
really
game.
6.
And they still have more than the Sacramento Kings, because we just listed 4.
All right, but okay, maybe the Hornets are... forget the Warriors. Maybe the Hornets are some bad team.
It just genuinely seems impossible that 15 years, 3 picks got a second contract when, again... restricted free agency exists.
Yeah.
They can't even leave without the team giving them permission to go sign with another team, which is, by the way, exactly what happened with Isaiah Thomas when he was coming up on a second contract with the Kings. They just let him walk.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, genuinely crazy. But then there's weird ones, like they traded Tyrese Halliburton. They gave up on Davion Mitchell.
Right. There's not a
through line through all.
No, it doesn't mean that all these guys weren't good at basketball. It's just it's confusing, right? It's more confusing.
That's why it seems genuinely impossible that Keegan is the third King in 15 years to be drafted and sign a second contract.
Yeah, so that is, and by the way, speaking of bouncing around, I can't ever talk about things and drafts that didn't work without yesterday reported from my guy, Mike A. Scotto. The Cavs have waived Killian Hayes.
Jesus, man.
And you know what? I want to know what he's doing to still get in these buildings. I understand, obviously, high draft pick, but he's got to be doing something, and then he gets in the building and they say, oh, you're actually bad.
Okay, let's pull up the Killian Hayes Wikipedia here. Well, he was on Brooklyn last year.
So, if you can't get time in Brooklyn,
tried to go to the Cavs.
I think it's time for the Guangdong Tigers.
I probably is. He went to their G League team. I think he's probably going to end up on the Cavs G League team, would be my guess.
Yeah, he needs to hit up Trey Lyles and go to Spain or Olympiacos. But Keegan Murray is firmly in the NBA. And before you get upset about the numbers, okay, that we're throwing around for Keegan Murray, and call in 916-339-1140 if you are upset about the amount of money. Call in if you think it's the right amount of money. Here are other players, young players, making similar money. First, Josh Giddey, who actually should be making more than $25 million. It was just bad luck. It was just the bad year to be a restricted free agent. But Josh Giddey should be closer to 28, but he's getting $25 million. Next is Jaden McDaniel, and I think Josh Giddey probably has a higher ceiling than Keegan just because he's as big or a little bit smaller than Keegan, but can handle the basketball. Keegan's obviously a much better shooter, but it's very comparable. And I do think, and Josh Giddey's got to be younger than Keegan for sure.
Yeah. Because Giddey was Oh, hell, yeah,
He
Giddy.
ain't 25.
No, I think Giddy's probably 24 if I had to guess. Let's see. Giddy is 23.
Yeah. So a little bit younger as well. But that's a good deal for the Bulls, right? That's how I would look at that. That's a bargain for the Bulls. Jaden McDaniels at 26 mil. Obviously, the cap changes and things like that. That's a really good comp. I don't know that Keegan should be making more than Jaden McDaniels, but again, it's a really good comparison. Keegan is going to get asked to do more than Jaden McDaniels, maybe if not now, but eventually. But I could see somebody arguing that Keegan should not be making more than Jaden McDaniels. Devin Vassell, sorry if I'm not familiar enough with your game, but I don't know why you're making $27 million a year. Good for you, but I don't know why you're making $27 million a year. Trey Murphy, that's exactly where Keegan's at. I talked about this in the first segment. Trey Murphy had a breakout season because he was playing with plumbers and Jose Alvarado. The whole team was injured.
And Yves Missi.
He was taking 8,000 shots a game. So that's my argument there.
You joked about that earlier. Do you want to know who actually had the next highest shot total on the team? So you had...
It's got to be CJ.
So CJ was higher than him,
yeah.
But obviously CJ's not there anymore. Brandon Ingram had the most on the team. He got traded midseason. Zion had the second most on the team. He only played 30 games. DeJounte Murray had 16. He only played 30 games.
Yeah.
After Trey Murphy, it was 9.9 for Jordan Hawkins.
Ridiculous.
Then 9 for Jose Alvarado and 9.1 for Brandon Boston Jr.
Then didn't he kill the King? I feel like he killed the King.
He probably did.
I just remember the name. Good
let's
name.
just assume in those 6 losses they had against the Hornets, against the Pelicans,
Yeah.
let's just say Brandon Boston had one.
Next, we're getting into the real big money. Jalen Johnson. Everybody, look, he's an untouchable on the Hawks. He's supposed to take a huge leap. They think that's a dude. Right? They think that this kid is going to be a dude for them and maybe but a true cornerstone of that team. He's making more than Keegan, $30 million a year. Jalen Suggs, I think it's a bad contract. I think Jalen Suggs can't stay on the floor, and then the only time I see him is with Haley Van Lith, and that's fine. I don't mind it, but that's the only time I see him. This is the only time I see him. So I think that's a bad contract. Maybe he can stay on the floor this season, and we can see if he's actually worth $30.2 million a year. Jordan Poole, $32 million a year. I love the Poole party. That's a bad contract.
That is hilarious looking back at how the market kind of went down. The Warriors did not have to do that at all.
He got punched.
They didn't have to get...
He got socked.
Yeah, but they paid him number 3 money when they had no reason. With a team that had Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green,
yeah,
they decided to pay him number 3 money that no player after him got. Just crazy.
Yeah, there you go. Gotta be careful with that one. Emmanuel Quickly, $32.5 million a year. That's a bad contract.
Yeah, that one.
That's a bad contract. He's another one. What, he played 15 games last season?
Yeah.
It's a bad contract.
I will say, when he plays, he's really good on offense. He could be a number 2 scoring option on a decent team, but he doesn't play.
The way I look at it is this, and the last one is Jalen Green. Goodness gracious, $35 million a year. Terrible. Okay? Terrible. The way I look at it is this, especially in this new CBA. Okay, this is a very simple way to look at this. In the new CBA, if these players were made available, how many teams and how excited would they be to bring on this player at this price point? Let's go backwards now. Let's start at the top. Hey, Jalen Green is available. Yeah, I'm good. I don't need Jalen Green at $35 million. Yeah, I'm good. I think a lot of teams would say, yeah, I'm good. Hey, Emmanuel Quickly is available. Oh, interesting. But $32.5 million a year, I think I can find somebody. I think I can get a Walter Clayton Jr. next season in the late first. I'm solid off that.
I'm going to need him to play 32 and a half games.
Can the brother play 50 games, okay? So, right there. Jordan Poole, $32 million a year. Hey, Jordan Poole's available. I'm so good off that, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much for, these guys are making calls to teams. Hey, Jordan Poole's available. Good for him. That's really good for him. Hope that works out for you. Jalen Suggs. This is where it starts to get interesting. Jalen Suggs. Hey, Jalen Suggs is available. Man, maybe next year. Let's see if he can play a full season. Let's see if I see him on the court and not just next to Haley Van Lith. All right? Because Haley Van Lith, she barely played. They both played the same amount of games. Okay? Haley Van Lith couldn't get time on the Chicago Sky, who are awful, and Jalen Suggs been injured for what feels like 2 years. So I'm interested. Let's see if Jalen Suggs can stay on the floor. All right? Jalen Johnson. Hey, Jalen Johnson's available. Oh, Jalen Johnson at $30 million? Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk right now.
Get him through 2030?
Yeah, let's talk right now. Trey Murphy at $28 million. Let's talk. The Warriors are trying to just turn this into a reality, okay? They're trying to power through and just create their own reality. And a lot of people would do that for Trey Murphy. Keegan Murray's available. Well, we just had on Keith Smith. And you know what? As Kyle, I saw this as well. You put this in our chat. Keith Smith said that if Keegan was made available, every other team in the NBA would be calling for him, right? Keith Smith did a projection. And in that projection, do you want to know how much money Keith Smith said that Keegan Murray would make? I won't belabor the point. I'll tell you. It was $28 million a year. So let's put 2 and 2 together. Keith Smith comes on the show earlier this week. Go check it out on YouTube. And Keith Smith says, if Keegan was made available, this was prior to the extension, sure, but if Keegan was made available, every single team would call for Keegan. Now, based on the price point, that would be different if Keith Smith's projection had Keegan at $24 million, $23 million. Maybe that would change things. But Keith Smith thinking, I think he'd be available, and this is what I think this team would be willing to pay him or trade for him after he gets paid. What was the projection? Bing, bam, boom, $28 million. After that, Devin Vassell. Like I said, maybe I'm not familiar with Devin Vassell's game. Him, Sheldon Johnson, they're all the same dude to me on the Spurs. They're just all the same person.
Sheldon Johnson, who's that?
Or Keldon, that's what I'm saying. Right? What's that movie? The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon, whoever the heck are the others on the Spurs. I don't know why Devin Vassell needs $27 million, but bless him.
All the others who can't shoot and get paid too much.
Yeah, bless all the bricks on the Spurs. I need the bricks from the Spurs and the bricks from the Nuggets to have a 3-on-3, and I need Marcellus Howard to ref it. That's what I want to see.
We need play-by-play.
We need play-by-play because, I don't know why Devin Vassell needs $27 a year, so I couldn't tell you why anybody would trade for it. I wouldn't.
So your 3-on-3, sorry, this is very funny. Your 3-on-3 game would be Vassell, Keldon, and what, Harrison Barnes?
Vassell, Sheldon, and Sohan.
Against Peyton Watson, Hunter Tyson, and Julian Strother.
That's right. Just the ugliest matchup you could ever cook up. And Devin Vassell, good for you. But can I get Devin? I know I just said we have some stuff to celebrate here on the show, and we're really happy about how the Ounce House show is going, and we're going to be with you for a while here. But can I get Devin Vassell's agent's number? Because how the heck did he get $27 a year?
I got to look up when he signed that deal, because was it pre-Wemby or post-Wemby? That's my question.
He would maybe just like De'Aaron Fox, where we have to pay someone.
Well,
so here you go.
It wasn't that we have to pay someone. It was like before Wemby and before his injury, it was like, oh, this guy's the future. I mean, this guy, he's going to be the best player on the team.
Now he comes off the bench for Sheldon Johnson.
Yeah, so here you go. So Vassell signed a 5-year, $146 million contract with the Spurs on October 2nd, 2023. So this is before Wemby ever suited up a game for the Spurs.
And look, they're not paying anyone. It should have, and that's what ticks everybody off about the Spurs. Even if you get Wemby, it shouldn't have worked out so well. Like, I don't know. They probably are a bit annoyed that they gave Devin Vassell that money, but because they have so many rookies, they don't care.
Well, you know what I'm annoyed by? I would have taken Devin Vassell at that price on the Kings.
Well,
But they didn't want him.
Yeah.
They actively turned down taking Devin Vassell at that price point to add Zach LaVine at his price point.
Yeah, but that's because they're going to make the 8 seed.
We could have
get the big shirts.
We could have had Vassell, Sheldon, and
somebody in the Sac chat said, "Who's Sheldon?" We're just joking. I called Keldon Johnson Sheldon Johnson.
Could have had Sheldon. We could have had him. I would have taken Sohan. I would have taken Champagnie.
Yeah.
Any of them. Just give me one of them.
Next on the list, if you are making calls, this player is now available. This is an obvious one. Hey, Jaden McDaniels is available at $26.2 million. Again, that's just good on the Timberwolves. I think Keegan has a higher ceiling than Jaden McDaniels offensively, but Jaden McDaniels has continued to improve each and every season. But yeah, that's without a doubt. Jaden McDaniels at 26.2. They make him available, and you're giving up some stuff. That's an easy one. He is the prototypical 3-and-D guy that everybody likes. He's handling the basketball more. He's shooting the basketball more. That's an easy one. Josh Giddey at $25 million. I mean, nobody was interested during restricted free agency. Nobody had money. But I would say if the Bulls are the Bulls, if something goes squirrely, I think that he would definitely have suitors for sure.
I mean, we definitely did a segment at some point during the summer that was like, can they land Kuminga and Giddey somehow?
Yeah, and just nobody take jump shots. How can we make our 3-point percentage worse?
I don't know. Giddey hit that half-court shot one time.
Yeah, and ruin their draft odds. So
ruin their chance to get Cooper Flag.
The larger point here is a lot of teams, I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of teams would take Keegan Murray at $28 million. So I understand what he did his rookie year, and you thought that Keegan was going to be Jason Tatum or Kawhi, and I don't know who told you that, but he had over 200 threes his rookie year, the first rookie to do that. So some of that did change expectations for Keegan, but I'm telling y'all right now, this is a good deal, at least in my opinion, right? You can feel how you want to feel, but this is a good deal for me, and the way I look at this timeline is fairly simple, okay? The way I look at this timeline is I do not think that DeMar DeRozan will be on this team next season. That is a top, again, I believe LaVine was 16 and DeMar might have been 12th in field goal attempts. They were both in the teens, okay? So that is a top 16 in field goal attempts. Somebody taking that many shots, that is off the team at the end of this season, where Keegan is still on his rookie contract, that initial price point. Then next season, so that's more shots that would, in theory, go to Keegan Murray, and he would have more of a role offensively. And who knows? Maybe they are able to get a big wing and bring in a big wing from the draft or whatever the case may be going into this next season, right? After 2027, okay, after 2027, Zach LaVine is off the books. He might not stay off the books, but right now, Zach LaVine would be off the books. Those are more shots that would go to the up-and-comers, whoever's on the team at that point. So that would be going into the second year of Keegan at the big money price point. And once again, he's not getting max money. We just read off guys that can't even stay on the floor, making more money than Keegan. And I know Keegan, he's had little back stuff here and there, but he's been fairly available. I know he just had this thumb, which is terrible timing, but he's been fairly available. He should be back. He's a big dude. He takes care of his body. He's a student of the game. I think, just to take a beat from the contract conversation, I'm just annoyed that he got injured because it really felt like he was on a different time this season. You could tell even in the preseason game, get into the rack, doing different things. At that time, he didn't have the contract, and I'm sure he knew it was coming. So it's not as if, let me play well in these preseason games to prove to them I need a contract. Obviously, they've been having these conversations while I was having segments saying, why haven't we heard anything? But Keegan was trying to move different this season. He can still move different this season. And that's why I'm upset at the injury. I wanted to see DeMar DeRozan drop out of the top 20 in field goal attempts. I wanted to see Keegan creep up there and see if he can get back to a career high in scoring. So Keegan definitely had those intentions on his mind. And I can only assume that once... It's not a foregone conclusion, but if DeMar DeRozan, his time ends, not got guaranteed contract next season, we're going to see a new version of Keegan. I don't know that he'll ever be Kawhi, as a lot of people said, or that caller that thought he'd be Jason Tatum, which is Kyle's favorite caller, but we're going to see a different version of Keegan when he returns. And we're going to see an even more different version of him once some of these guys get removed from the equation. Not to rush them out the building, but this is just the nature of it's like having a senior. That's how I look at it. You got a sophomore who's a complete stud muffin, and you want to give the keys to them. I've said the same example back in my day when I was playing college baseball. Same idea. I think DeMar DeRozan is kind of that senior. I don't think there was a lot out there for him. I think Scott Perry was trying to build a culture. I don't know that DeMar, and we're going to get into this literally in about 3 minutes, what Sam Amick had to say. There are a lot of reasons to believe that Keegan's usage will reflect the $28 million, even to the tune of it looking like a bargain. And I will give you why that may be the case when we return. Don't move. About 2 minutes. Sam Amick was on the morning show and shared something with the guys that was really illuminating on this upcoming season. Now in Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still